seems to be the magic number to lift the veil. When I started this channel, I indicated that I would only be discussing trips that were especially revealing. Of course, this plant has led me on a wild ride through non-dualism and study of various Eastern and indigenous traditions. These are wonderful concepts that make suffering on this planet, or illusion of a planet, non-existent. Let me start by saying that the plant mentioned is obviously not a full way out of this reality. It's more of a half in, half out kind of a deal. And in your death experience, people seem to be given the choice whether to come back or not. In a plant-based hallucinogenic experience, it seems that you've already made the decision before you go that you're coming back. Now, setting your intention before is very important. At this point, I'm almost running out of intentions because I feel so liberated as to the state of this reality and the many others that are available. So I started at about 4 p.m. in the afternoon. I took 2 4-gram chocolates. I always set up a fire with at least a candle, sage, several methods of playing music, and a nice comfy seat with at least some means of glimpsing at nature and humanity. They began to take effect pretty quickly, so I started the music and sat down. For me, I don't close my eyes when journeying, but this time for the short time I did, the visuals were amazing. Some multi-dimensional chocolate flowing like rivers with big pink inflatable kisses glowing in them. Then these gorgeous claymation-looking cities. But like I say, I like to observe the changes in the reality, so I go in eyes wide open for as long as possible. I'm not quite sure what happens next. The last thing I remember was this song. So as this song was playing, and by the way, the type of music that you use makes for a good plant ceremony. It's generally not that pleasing to your neighbors who are based in this reality. So although some of it can be quite melodic, certain artists seem to have a gift for making fantastic journey music. This one is Alonso Del Rio. He has many amazing songs. If you want to try and make sure that your neighbors are good with everything. So as it's playing, I drift into a place where I'm basically on a roller coaster ride without the actual car or even my body. The courtyard I was in began to change form, and I was seeing all sorts of different angles of it and doing what I could only call anti-gravity flips, where I was turning upside down and flipping right through my front gate. And eventually, it was not the courtyard that was changing form, it was me. Now, my intention that afternoon was just to see as much of the world as possible without leaving my chair. Well, the ride took me starting through my own daily reality, yet gave me hundreds of variations on what it could be. Then we continued on and basically, I think, got a full tour of Earth. And suddenly there were different soulmates with me on this ride, all smiles. This continued until we were apparently out in the universe. Oh, and that music that had set me on this trip suddenly stopped because the speaker went off. I really only usually like going on a journey with music, but for some reason, this time, that's not what the universe wanted for me. The speaker was fully charged, and if you know anything about being on plant medicine, you know that you can't control electronics very well. So I just had to let it go as is. So then I was in a state of nothingness again. However, in the nothingness, I was being given many messages. The main one was that we really are one shared consciousness. Now, I know we hear this all the time from all different types of people on YouTube, etc., but it really is true. I mean, if you have to see it to know it, and you can find that out through meditation, plant medicine. There are some people who simply have out-of-body experiences. They know how to do remote viewing. The main one was that we really shared one consciousness. I was shown that little clues that I have been given, but it was communicated to me that we have every single possible infinite choice available to us, and we are always taking it in, and the only way we recognize one reality is through the separation. That's why we buy so much stuff. That's why we want friends. That's why we want to be important. That's how we create this reality. And this is not a bad thing. It's why we're here, or there, and everywhere. There really are no bad people in the universe, just people acting out characters. Many times it's just us creating our surroundings. And I learned that our soul family is in charge of helping us to stay tapped into one reality because it's so easy to slip between them. In this journey, I saw past lives and future lives, which of course I didn't understand. I even got a free x-ray of a recent injury that I had in my ankle, which I don't understand, but I can visualize it, and it was better than the technology we have currently. Again, the message I got was that the soul family is responsible for keeping us tethered to one reality. But I asked for clues that we are making up this reality for myself, and that's where the fun really begins. People walk by and wink at me. Even people who I know currently are thousands of miles away walk by, and they wave at me. And these are people that I'm not currently even talking to. My brother who passed away walks by, and he shows me he's still out there. The one thing I got that differs from a lot of Eastern philosophy is that it's not a great number of localized consciousness doing all this. It's really a very small number taking on many, many, many roles in many lifetimes and many scenarios in the current lifetime. But it shifts very quickly. I saw many people who appeared to be very real, but were definitely not visible in 2D form, which the plant seems to know that I will perceive them as real as long as I don't investigate thoroughly, at which time they would have to either fade out or come into the 3D world, and both of those things happen frequently on my journeys. I'll see something pop up out of my lounge to check it out, and it's either totally real or fizzes out. There were also various other beings around me in other forms, basically showing themselves as translucent, esoteric, or ethereal. So that was the deep trance state of this journey. Once I was capable, I picked up a set of earpods and began playing music again. I chose a couple of classical pieces that I loved. They took me to a place where I literally conducted the universe I wanted in front of me. This was the reality I currently live in, but I was able to recreate it slowly. This particular journey hit fast and wasn't that long because by about 8 p.m. I was functional. So that's 4 hours human time, but it did take me about 2 days to reintegrate into this reality comfortably. This is a concept commonly known as remembering the forgetting. Remembering the forgetting is a phrase often used in spiritual and philosophical contexts to describe the paradoxical process of rediscovering something we once knew but intentionally forgot in order to fully experience a certain state of being. I'll be discussing the whole topic of remembering the forgetting in another video. But for now, I'm just blown away by our universe and its miracles. The last thing I want to mention is that some comments I've gotten about interpretation of these concepts or truths. Someone asked me if life is a simulation, then is it okay if we go around behaving badly and causing harm to people without recourse? Well, if that's just where you are on your journey, then unfortunately you're not getting it. We are here to grow and test our true nature, which is only positive, like love, joy, contentment, peace, tranquility. And every day you are given opportunities to use these qualities. While it is true that there is free will in the universe and the only real law is that there are no laws, I believe there is a karmic cycle. And if you don't learn to be with your true nature while you're here, you are destined to repeat it over and over again, illusion or not. Love is what sets people free from suffering.